During a recent event we hosted with the Advertising Research Foundation, we discussed the growing importance of authenticity and how brands can nurture it. We also shared the results of our HawkPartners Brand Authenticity Index. In this research, we uncovered 6 pillars for creating authentic connections. Being explicitly moral, being unapologetically transparent, being brutally honest, being rooted in their values, being constantly consistent, and becoming an expression of who they, as a consumer, are. Our event featured speakers from Peloton, the Ritz-Carlton, and Pfizer, as they shared their efforts to bolster their brand's authenticity during the pandemic. These brands approached authenticity through different strategies and messages, each of them building on the pillars of authentic brands. Here are some highlights from our conversation about creating authentic connections with consumers.
It's definitely been a challenging year for the Ritz-Carlton and for the hospitality industry overall. I think the strength of the sentiment of hope my colleagues and I all carried, even in the darkest of days, was remarkable. Many of you would recall the campaign our marketing team ran, "We Will Travel Again" is what it was called, and the language was, soon we will step out from behind our screens. We will look each other in the eye instead of the camera. We will clink glasses, we will exchange hugs, and we will travel again. And until then, stay healthy, stay positive, we'll be waiting. I think it resonated with our consumers on that deep emotional level because we were all longing for that human interaction. I would say the power of the Ritz-Carlton brand is truly the 48,000 ladies and gentlemen who bring it to life each and every day on our properties. They co-create incredible experiences with our guests. It's not just that our mixologists make a mean Manhattan, it's that they engage with you about the story of the whiskey they're using and you end up swapping your life's tales. It's not just that our housekeepers ensure the most comfortable sleep experience, it's that they notice what side of the bed you sleep on. All these moments stem from our brand culture, right? So that's anchored in our credo, which names the genuine care and comfort of our guests as our highest mission. The thing is, the credo doesn't only speak to how we engage with our guests. It also really speaks to how we engage with everyone around us. When I think about our brand experience, it's always been about these millions of micro moments that happen between our guests and ladies and gentlemen, those moments of genuine care. And that's why guests are coming back, right? That's why they missed us, and that's why they are hopefully, continuing to return to the Ritz-Carlton as soon as it's safe in their regions. And that just didn't really change for us during COVID. It sort of authentically evolved to reflect the human experience at the time.
Pfizer has always been a very purpose-driven company. We actually have our Pfizer values, and they sort of ladder up to what we call our purpose blueprint. And that ladders up to our bigger purpose in general, which is around bringing breakthroughs that change patients' lives. So that's really our North Star, and it would be hard to find a Pfizer colleague who did not really kind of believe wholeheartedly in that motto. But you can't get to that motto until you embrace science. I think a lot of people don't know that in the US, which is where we do most of our direct-to-consumer marketing, we actually pulled all of our product marketing off the shelf and off the TV and said, look, we're just going to play these sort of science will win videos. Because for us, that was our way to develop the market and to make sure that people trusted us. So that was a big decision. But I think you also can't be, you can't be authentic without being credible and without being trustworthy. And so we can make the best vaccine in the world, but if we can't get that shot in people's arms, then really what's the value there? I think going forward, things are changing so much that transparency is now the rule, not the exception, and that these brands that have been there throughout the pandemic, I think will continue to be there in the long run. And at Pfizer, we always know that we'll have, we have this technology and we're building an entire business around this technology. But if there's another pandemic, if something else breaks out, we're going to be there and we're going to collaborate with others to bring the full force of science and Pfizer to the forefront.
Working at Peloton through the pandemic has just made me really proud. I think every team has worked so incredibly hard this year. COVID really forced us to see if we could maintain our nimbleness as we continue to scale. consumer needs were drastically different than they were, the previous year. And we're really figuring out how to respond to those needs and also the needs of our members. Our members and our consumers are so core to what we do. And so whether we're looking at the Facebook group called the OPMP, this official Peloton member page, or talking to consumers about their needs, it quickly became clear that there was a lot of heightened interest in Peloton in order to be able to move at home. It's something that we started to track more regularly. And so when I was working on the brand health report, we really were starting to see these changes in things like impression, word of mouth, who's talking about the brand, how often is it getting mentioned, buzz, who's hearing about the brand. And that was really interesting because as awareness was going up and these positive impression metrics were going up, we realized that maybe we had a different type of opportunity here. And so we launched our first ever TV spot with real members, which was really awesome. Traditionally we've used actors, but these were real Peloton members from different markets all over the globe. And they were telling their stories about their experiences with Peloton, what the Peloton community means to them, and really channeling something authentic about what Peloton had been like for them during the pandemic.
Authenticity is not a finish line. It's not a red tape that you run through and you say, okay, we've now become authentic. There's always ways to be more authentic. There's always, ways where even if you're not currently at a place where consumers see you as authentic, that you can increase those scores. So I don't look at authenticity as either a yes or no question. Rather, this is how can we be more authentic?